Hi, this is Miss PM from Connors Elementary School, the after-school program. Today we have a real opportunity. Today we're going to do some weaving. We're going to make two projects. The first one is a basket. And this is the basket we're going to make. Okay. All right. That's the basket. Second one we're going to make is a woven circle. Okay, and this is to hang. All right, and that's what this one is. Okay. So what we need to get started is to prepare our space. So get a piece of plastic, a bag, cut the top off and lay that flat so that you have something to glue on and to work on. When you're done, you throw that away. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take our template that's on cardstock, which was in your packet, and cut that out as carefully as you can. Your basket will decide on how well you cut this. All right. Second thing I want you to do is I want you to pick out two colors of yarn. One will be a thinner yarn, which is what I used on the bottom, and that thinner yarn makes it so that it makes a nice curve, and it doesn't really have to pull and yank on a piece of cardboard. Okay. The top color is a thicker yarn, and you can tell when you reach in the bag that I've given you that Miss Jen's going to pack up. You can tell the thickness of the yarn. Okay, so I think we're ready to go with the basket. Okay, so you should have the template, the two colors of yarn, scissors, glue, ruler, and you have your plastic bag. First thing we did is we cut this. We're ready to do our basket. So we're going to take our thin yarn. We're going to put it on the inside of our basket. And we're just going to hold it there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in and out, in and out, in and out of every one of those legs. Okay? And we're going to do that 4 times around, trying to make sure that you're not pulling very tightly on the first 4 rows. You're going to pull just so that they become even. Do you see my lines? See the lines? Pull them that evenly. If you have trouble, don't worry about it because it takes time. And you might have to do it 2 or 3 times just to get started. Okay? So do that. You're holding your thread, your yarn inside, making sure that that doesn't pull through, and go in and out 4 rows. Next row that you do, you're going to start pulling tighter and tighter to make it go up your basket. So you're going to pull in those legs, and so it makes into a basket. Okay, so when you get to the top, and you can, I used my thinner one as far up as I could go because it's easier, because those holes are not very big for yarn to go through many times. So then I'm going to switch yarns. I'm going to take the light color. Again, I'm going to put the tail in the middle, and I'm going to weave around. Now, I didn't pull tightly. I just pulled a little bit so that, again, I got my lines of yarn. Okay, go all the way to the top and leave 1/4 of an inch. If you leave 1/4 of an inch, it's going to be much easier for you. Okay, so next thing you're going to do is the top of these tabs, you left 1/4 of an inch. I want you to fold them in all over your basket. Fold it in and crease it. Okay. Then you're going to take glue, lift up your tab, take a little bit of glue, and fold it over and hold it 2 at a time until it's somewhat dry, all the way around your basket. While you're doing that, I'll talk a minute. So what you're going to do is when you weave, do you see these lines right here going down? That's called the warp, okay? And that's what we're weaving around the legs. Legs are going up and down, that's the warp. But how did we weave? We went around, we went across, and that's the weft. Okay? So there's some basket terms that we can use, but it makes a big difference sometimes when you're reading those directions. But you have to have 2 pieces connecting. Okay, so after you've glued your tabs down or legs down, you're going to take 2 pieces of the thicker yarn, cut it so that they fit exactly around your top. So you're going to cut 2 pieces all the way around the top. What you're going to do is you're going to lay a bead of glue all the way around, but towards the outside of your basket. See? See my hole there? All right? You don't see my other holes because I did it a little bit better. but you're going to lay the glue all the way around towards the outside and put a piece of yarn on and then sort of squinch it down and poke it down a little bit so that it stays. Second piece is going to be in the inside. So again, it hides the cardboard. Okay, so I did an okay job on my inside. The outside, if I wanted to, I could put another row of that yarn. Okay, so that is our basket, and I love them. There's one mistake in mine. This writing should be on the bottom, okay? But that's okay. I love my basket. Okay, second thing we're going to make, as I said, is this woven circle. Okay, you can use any colors. You can use thick, thin, whatever you want to use. We talked a little bit about the warp, and the warp. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our circle. And after we cut our circle, which is about a 6.5-inch circle, then we're going to take our scissors and you're going to cut about, I'd say, maybe a half an inch in, all the way around. But before that comes the hard part with this one. So you're going to take your circle, which looks like this, okay? And you're going to take your ruler. Where's my ruler? Right here. You're going to take your ruler, find the midpoint, and try to make the midpoint all the way around and mark it. Once you find the midpoint, you have to do this several times to get an exact midpoint in the middle of that circle. Okay? Unless you have an instrument to do that, which I didn't. So I found my middle, and then what I started to do, I need to come up with 17 odd numbers of lines, okay? And each time just go through the middle. Now, mine are pretty even, but they don't have to be. I did not do the 17 lines. If they're even, if they're odd, it comes out better, but I don't see the need to do that. So what I did, the right way, I didn't do. So then I went and I made 16 of these lines. So now I have 16 of the lines, and then I cut into my line by half an inch. Okay, all right. So we get our 6.5-inch circle. Then we take our ruler, we find the midpoint, and we make, how many lines? We make 8 lines, which are 16. And now we're ready to go. So if you're doing something up and down, what was that called? Was that the warp? Yeah, okay. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our colors and we are going to string like from the top to the bottom, one string, like this. Take that one string, you've got it down to the bottom, but you're going to tape that string on. And you're going to take and keep that on there so that you don't have to lose it. So you're going to take your string, go up and down, then do the next one, and then keep rotating it and around so that you all have exactly the number of tabs at the top. When you're done with that, and they should be pretty taut on there, because if you don't, it's going to be hard to, not very, but enough so you can pick it up and put your yarn under. Okay, so again, you're going to take your end piece of making all the crosses and tape that on. Okay, now we're set to go. So we're going to take our yarn, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to poke a hole in the back. And you can do this or not do it. I like to go up through the hole in the back, okay? And then I tape that down. My yarn will be taped down in the back. And I pulled it up, taped it. Now I'm set to go. Now I'm going to make a circle. I'm going to go in and out of every one of these warp lines. And I go in and out, in and out, in and out. Okay? And that's what I did here in the middle. All right? Yeah, it looks kind of funky. I've got that one piece sticking out, but that's okay. I kind of like it. And then I'm going to change colors, and I put a little bit of purple, put a little bit of dark green, and then I put some purple. So every time that you want to stop, you just lay that, the one that you've been working on, just lay that just like you did on the other one, lay it down and go over it with your next color. Okay, so I would, if I had that right here, I would lay it down. I'm going to weave this way. So I would weave it this way. I'd go around and around, and eventually that tail would be caught up in there. Okay, and just go round and round and round and round. There you go. Now I want you to notice one thing with mine. I used some yarn I really liked, and I used 2 strands instead of 1, and that's what this is. See the different color? One of them was a multicolor, but the other one is 2 strands at once, and you can do that. So I played with thick yarn, thin yarn. This green is thin, but I used 2 strands. Okay, and that is a woven circle. Thanks for watching. Bye.